Hey guys, it's summertime. Do you know what your children are drinking? Hey y'all, my name is Amy Morgan. I'm the marketing coordinator here for Pediatric Dental Associates and Orthodontics. And today we're going to be helping you choose the right drinks for your children's teeth. So one of the questions that we get asked a lot in our office is, what should my child be drinking to try to prevent cavities? And a lot of parents are shocked to learn that milk and juice are not the #1 answer. So water is best for 2 reasons. One is that it's sugar-free, and the other is that it will actually keep your child hydrated throughout the day. An additional benefit to having your child drink water is that it will actually cleanse their mouth and their teeth after they've been eating. So it's an additional way to have them keep their mouth nice and healthy. We are using bottled water for this video purpose, but we do want to recommend tap water every now and again for your child due to its added fluoride benefits. As children grow, we start to give them milk and juice, and these are perfectly fine in moderation. And in fact, this bottle of whole milk and this juice box actually say no added sugars, and it even is on the label, there are no added sugar. But the natural sugar content in milk and apple juice is actually pretty high. And we're gonna go over that a little bit later and actually show you how much sugar is present in these drinks. So again, these are perfectly fine. We want them to get their vitamins and all of their minerals and everything they need to grow up strong and healthy, but we wanna do that in moderation due to its sugar content. And next, we just wanna quickly review some of the drinks that are very popular among some of the older kids. So this is gonna be your kids that are playing soccer and sports and all of that, but also your teenagers as well. You can see here we have Gatorade, we have energy drinks, and we have the ever popular soda. Sodas are fine and they're fun, but they do have a very high sugar volume, so you want to make sure that you're just limiting the amount of that, and have them trade out and say, if you drink 2 bottles of water, we'll get you a soda or something like that. That's a fun thing to do. Gatorades are great for refueling their electrolytes after a sports event. However, this particular Gatorade has a very high sugar volume, so we want to make sure that we're limiting that to only after sports and that it's not an all-day drink for your child. And then lastly, in the no-no list would be energy drinks. We are strongly encouraging parents to stop letting their children drink energy drinks, period. The sugar and caffeine content are very high, but also just as soda, they're very acidic as well, so they can really start to damage their permanent teeth early in life. Now we're gonna get down to the nerdy stuff, which is my favorite part. We're gonna go to the science lab, and we are going to use our not beakers, but we're gonna pretend that they are. And we are gonna show you the actual sugar content that is available in all of these drinks. So we are gonna be doing regular milk, which is just regular whole milk, strawberry milk, and chocolate milk. And believe it or not, we have them in order from least to most. So we're just gonna start with whole milk. So most children drink whole milk on a daily basis. And we do recommend that, due to the sugar content, that you use it only at meals, because along with them chewing, they'll be able to get some of that sugar content worked out of it and off of the surface of their teeth faster. But whole milk has actually 2 tablespoons of sugar in it. So we're gonna show you what that looks like next to the bottle. So this is 2 tablespoons of sugar. So you can see, comparative to that, it's about 1/6 to 1/8 of the actual content of the liquid. So that's a lot of sugar in whole milk. So again, you can see why we would recommend that you drink it in moderation, okay? And now we're gonna move on to the strawberry milk. And the strawberry milk actually has double the amount of sugar that whole milk has in it. So it has 4 tablespoons. So we're gonna show you what that looks like comparative to the amount of liquid in the bottle. Man, that was a good pour. I'm proud of myself. Okay, so this is 4 tablespoons of sugar. So as you can tell, obviously the flavored drink is gonna have more sugar in it because they're adding sugar to it, okay? So that's the strawberry milk. And then when we get up to the chocolate milk, it's actually gonna have 5 tablespoons. So it has 1 more than strawberry, but 3 more than whole milk. You can see that is a very significant amount of liquid compared to sugar. So lots of sugar in chocolate milk. And one of the reasons why we're really stressing this is because a lot of kids really love flavored milk, and we see it in the office all the time in bottles and sippy cups. And we don't want to take away all the fun, right? Like, we want kids to be able to enjoy and have fun, sweet drinks. But again, this is in moderation, and you definitely do not want them carrying this around in their bottles or in their sippy cups. This should be something that they're only allowed to have with meals or snacks, where they're actually sitting down, finishing the entire cup in one sitting versus walking around and drinking that sugar all day long, because it's the prolonged sitting on the teeth that is the issue. So the sugar content in juices is actually very high comparative to the number of ounces that the child would be drinking at the time. So a Capri Sun only has 6 fluid ounces in it, which, for comparative, for you to know kind of what that means, a Coca-Cola can has 12 ounces. So this is half of the liquid that's available in a Coke. And then a Juicy Juice box has 9 ounces. Again, Juicy Juice is 100% juice. We want the kids to be able to have that, but the sugar content is fairly high comparative to the number of ounces that are actually available, okay? So Capri Suns actually have 1 tablespoon of sugar in them in 6 ounces. So we're going to show you that real quick. So this is just 1 tablespoon here. And you can see comparatively to the number of ounces, because we all know a Capri Sun is blown up, so there's really not that much liquid in here. That's a lot of sugar content compared to the number of ounces they'd be drinking. And then the Juicy Juice actually has 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now remember, Juicy Juice does not have added sugar in it. This is purely just the sugar that comes from an apple. Again, it's a healthy option. We're not saying don't give it to your child, but what we are saying is just make sure that this is not what they're drinking all day long, because the sugar here, if they're walking around with a juice box all day and just grabbing juice boxes left and right out of the refrigerator, they're technically drinking, every time they drink a juice box, they're drinking this much sugar. So we want to just make you aware of that. So now we're going to compare the sugar content of Gatorade and Coca-Cola. There are all types of sodas out there. Coca-Cola basically ends up being the most commonly one that's drank, but you can look at the back of it and figure out kind of what the sugar content of it is. Even Sprites have a lot of sugar in it. A lot of parents choose to give their children Sprite because it's caffeine free, but it does have sugar in there, okay? So we want to make sure you're paying attention to your labels. Gatorade and Coke actually have the same amount of sugar in each drink. So each one of them has 2 tablespoons of sugar. So you can tell just by the number of ounces available. Gatorade's 28 ounces and a Coke is 12 ounces, and they have the same amount of sugar. So obviously the soda, as far as sugar content, is gonna be worse. And the soda also has the acid content as well. So the carbonation and acid that's in a soda actually can wear down the enamel of their permanent teeth. So we want to make sure we're paying attention to that as well. So it is 2 tablespoons. You can see, obviously, compared to the Gatorade, it's not as much, but we do want to make sure that they're not drinking these all day, because they are filled with artificial flavors and sugar and just are not great for their teeth, but they are great for refueling electrolytes after sporting events. And then also on the Coke, we just want to make sure that because of the high acidic content as well as the sugar, that we're trying to limit the amount that they intake with that as well. And now on to the lovely energy drinks here that we absolutely say no, do not drink them. But if you do, we want you to be aware of the sugar content. So on average, most 16-ounce energy drinks, the Red Bull is only 12 ounces, so it's the same size as a soda. But on average, most energy drinks are going to have 5 tablespoons of sugar, which is equivalent to that whole chocolate milk that we had earlier. So you want to make sure that you are avoiding these. Not only is the sugar content very high, the caffeine content is very high, and from a oral health perspective, the sugar is awful, but from the overall health perspective, the caffeine is not great for kids at all. So we want to make sure that we're trying to avoid these at all costs. But if your teenager absolutely insists on drinking them, there are actually some sugar-free options that you can look into for this, as well as there are a plethora of athletic drinks like Gatorade and Powerade that also come in sugar-free. We hope this video has been helpful for you. I know as a parent, it has been very eye-opening for me just to see the sugar content that is present in even the drinks that my own child is drinking at home. We want to make sure that we are also answering any questions that you might have, whether it's about teeth, oral health, anything related to kids. That's what we're here for. So make sure to comment below if you have any questions. Also, you can check out our other videos right here on our channel, and we hope you'll check back with us again next time. Thank you.